Hi everybody, so welcome to another video. So for this one, I'll be showing you how to use generative AI tools to, help with content strategy and new marketing efforts, and just a peek into how I use it. So I'm using this browser called Dai from the browser company that built Arc browser. So this is like their latest version. So I use like this chat feature a lot. So it doesn't even require me now to, have ChatGPT open as often. So oftentimes the way I use it is, say I've created content, I need review, or I need it to be like edited or something. So I just like use it mostly for that. Say, or maybe I'm writing an email. So okay, can you look through my draft and see if there's anything I need to add, or what are your thoughts? I also use it for, say I'm trying to like do research, so to like speed up my research. So I use it. Then maybe I want to craft like an outline for an article. I use it also as well, just to like help with the process. So I don't use it like totally from like an end-to-end process. So it's mostly like to help me automate some repetitive parts of my work, and also, help with like getting like a second opinion. Really? Yeah. So let's get into it. So for this, we'll be looking at this company called Central, which is like a payroll HR software company. So they basically help companies, businesses, startups with managing their payroll and HR processes. And they also claim to be better than most traditional payroll solutions. And their tagline usually says less bullshit for startups. So why we are using them is they're pretty new company, so they don't really have anything yet going on based on content. They don't have a functional blog. I also checked their Twitter and there's not really much there. So it just kind of gives me like a blank canvas to work with. So let's get into it. So this is my prompt. I already like have it here, which is, so I'm telling the chat feature to, okay, look through this website and draft a sample content strategy for this brand, considering their mission and product benefits. So let's see what pops up. So it comes up with things like, this is the brand's mission, right? So, and it now splits it into content pillars right now. So it now talks about, okay, content types and channels. Okay, this is exactly what we're now looking for. So it's saying we could start with educational blog series on, say for instance, the founder's guide to payroll and compliance, how to onboard employees in any state in minutes, the real cost of payroll mistakes and how to avoid them. So I agree with this. It's good to like start, with educational blog posts because it helps you with SEO. And most founders at this startup are also asking these questions. They have these questions, so they're likely searching for these questions. So even if they were to ask like any generative AI to this question, and your article kind of like covers that keyword and it's doing really well to pop up, which means, oh, the content gets suggested and the brand gets discovered, right? So this I agree with. So really understand what are the questions your target audience are asking and how can you create educational content around that really helps. It also mentions customer stories and testimonials. So short video interviews and written case studies featuring founders who saved time and avoided fines using Central. Yeah, I agree with this because case studies are really huge, especially if you're like starting. Like people want to know how other people have used your product and how it helped them. So having video interviews, so written case studies will really go a long way in positioning your brand as the solution that your target of customers need. And it's also saying we use cases of Central Slack bot solving founders' headaches. So product demos and how to quick demo videos showing key workflows, onboarding, payroll, compliance checks by Slack, interactive webinars with Q&A for new users. Yes, I agree with this because as a new business with a solution that not everybody is familiar with, they want to know how to use it. So it's also your job to have like a knowledge base that contains, how to articles visual um with visual elements that really show people, okay, this is what you need to do step by step, or this is how to get anything done via your product, down to like having video tutorials that show people the whole process of how to use your product, because they are going to be asking a lot of questions about how to use your product. So this is where you should shine, by having an updated knowledge base that shows them how to use your product. And having interactive webinars with Q&A for new users, I also agree. So maybe it can even be something as, say, you have a new feature, right? So you can have like a webinar with, say, early users to kind of like get their feedback and show them how to use the product. Then down the line, you can now have a much bigger webinar with, say, everybody, showing them how to use the product and what they can achieve by using the product. So they also get a chance to ask questions and interact directly with your team. So yeah, product webinars are like a huge help too. You can also go the route of having like webinars with industry experts that can give some insights on like HR, payroll, and compliance processes, which other founders would find helpful. So because if you're trying to target startups, so at this point, they also need like some advice and insight from people who know it or who know what they are doing, right? So this is also like a way to like get leads, because say they stumble on, say, a webinar that says this is how you can you can stay compliant as a globally distributed team. So from there, listen to the webinar, they discover your company, they discover your product, and that way you're able to build leads. Then it also mentions product leadership content. So opinion pieces on the future of HR automation, compliance for distributed teams, and the value of killing business bullshit. LinkedIn posts from Central's leadership on startup operations best practices. Yeah, so if it comes from the angle of, getting like industry insights from HR professionals or compliance experts, and kind of like having a collaboration post with them that you can put on your blog, or even interviewing them and working on guides on HR, payroll, compliance, and making it a gated content on, say, the website, just to help you like build leads and also put out evergreen content, that I would agree with. So there's also SEO, optimized resources, state by state, compliance checklists, payroll and benefit calculators. Okay, I agree with payroll and benefits calculators. I really like that. It really helps, especially if you're trying to, figure out, okay, how will this tool help me, and what amount of money am I saving over time by using this tool? This kind of, I think Deal has that sort of thing on, is it Deal or Oyster HR? Yeah, I think they have that sort of benefits payroll calculator, downloadable onboarding checklist, maybe. Then there's also like email and drip campaign, 0 to payroll in 15 minutes onboarding series. Okay, yeah, this is great. Like, especially having like an email sequence, basically, say someone signs up. So you kind of like take them through the stages of, okay, this is what Central does. This is what you can do with it. This is how you can like find success with the product. Can even help, get these customers to actually using the product and become a lifetime customer, perhaps, just to kind of encourage, active usage. This would really help. Then there's also things on socials like founder codes, quick tips, product updates, customers wins, and stuff. I think what I would add to this, it would be having comparison, pages on the website comparing Central and other payroll solutions out there, even having comparison articles as well, just to give people a peek into how their solutions might be better than what's out there and how their solution is different from what's out there. So something else they could also do would be, having a behind the scenes sort of content where the central team kind of like builds in public by telling people, okay, because they're a new startup, right? So they share their stories of how they're building central, challenges they've encountered, and basically taking their customers through the process of how they built like central. This kind of helps them, connect to their ideal customers, founder to founder. So having that kind of founder kind of focused content really helps and would go a long way. And I think there was a particular company that I came across that they did that sort of thing where they kind of like took us through the process of how they shipped products to how they're even growing the team. I think Post Hog also did something similar on their YouTube and on their blog where they kind of like shared behind the scenes stories of how they are building the company and the product in general. So that will really help and help them connect to their ID customer profile. Um, so I think these others are like content teams and then how to like track and measure content performance. It even includes like a sample content calendar for the first 3 months. But there's also something I need to like say. Why this is like a starting point for you to create your content strategy. It really helps when you're trying to create your content strategy to, look at the competitors and what they're doing and see how you can make yours different and stand out. Just because at the end of the day, you're trying to like, you're trying to get the attention of the same type of users, right? So it's not figuring out how can my content strategies be more unique or different from what the others are doing. So at the end of the day, it's pulling all this data from the internet. So you also need to figure out how you can be more unique and better than what's out there. And another thing I also tend to do besides competitor analysis is also actually like, sitting down and thinking, okay, what can I do differently than the others? So what helps me is either speaking to the early customers to understand their pain points and how our product helps. Or even if there's no early users at the moment, is reaching out to your ideal customer profile and speaking to them about their payroll needs and seeing how you can help. Then also speaking to the founders of the company and really understanding what's their goal with the company, what they're trying to achieve really helps you in creating a content strategy that works. And then experimentation is big too, trying out things and seeing what works and what doesn't, and then applying pressure on what works, that sort of thing. So I think that's all for today on how I kind of like use AI tools for content strategy and marketing efforts. And if you like this one, share, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff.